All right, first of all, I got to acknowledge Bryce Young because he did lead that comeback that we had against the Arizona Cardinals. We could not capitalize. We couldn't execute at the end, but he was the main reason why we stayed in that game. All right, he was. So I got to give credit where credit's due, for sure. But anyway, we're going to dive into a recap of the Cardinals game, and then we're going to look ahead at the Atlanta Falcons game. So y'all stick with me, all right? Let's look at the why. Why did the Panthers lose in week 2 versus the Cardinals? Turnovers by Bryce. No balanced attack. Couldn't execute during the late comeback. Now, the turnovers by Bryce, that's mostly Bryce Young's fault. But the O-line had a hand in that. The no balanced attack. You got to mix the run with the pass because we're one-dimensional if we're just passing the ball. When we get down early, that's what happens. We panic and that's what happens. Couldn't execute during the late comeback. It was inspiring. It was a lot of fight in the Carolina Panthers coming back. All right. But we have to learn how to finish and execute when we do that because we had so many chances. I believe there were 6 incomplete passes by Bryce Young when we had that final drive. And this is the year, 3rd year, you got to prove that you're the franchise QB. I am a supporter. Let me start by saying that first. Supporter of Bryce. But this is the year I've always said since day one that you have to prove that you are the franchise QB. There should be no doubts. So it got to be hard. I have to be this way with you in year 3. I got to be this way. I'm not apologizing for it. I have to be that way. And there's a higher standard that I have for you this year. Now let's look at the how. How did the Panthers lose week 2 versus the Cardinals? The Cardinals defense made stops, critical stops when they needed to. That's what happened. They also had more sacks than us, and they scored points off turnovers. Now, they capitalized on our turnovers, so I'm not taking anything away from the Cardinals. They did what they had to do. I mean, that's simple as that. That's how we lost this game. Now, unfortunately, we have suffered injuries on the O-line. Robert Hunt and Austin Corbett will not be playing in the next 4 games. At least the next 4 games. Could be more, I don't know, but they on IR. Now, even with that said, Bryce has to still deliver. We got to start fast. We got to get this run game going. And we got to protect the ball, secure the ball. This is not the game to be messing around. Atlanta, they're coming in here. They want to be on top of the NFC South. And we should think the way also. But we got to execute. We got to execute down to the O-line, pass blocking, run blocking. The receivers got to catch the ball. Everyone has to have their assignment done and do it well. We're not going to be perfect. No team is perfect. But you have to make less mistakes than the other team and execute better and capitalize on the big play opportunities. Gotta give a shout out to Evero and his defense because they held a team under 100 yards rushing. I cannot believe that. But this defense gotta make crucial stops when they can. But we already know defense, work in progress. So we have to capitalize when the defense makes stops. We have to score in the end zone. That's what we got to do. So let's battle, y'all. Let's go. Keep pounding.